alien woman's child was crying and had an unexpected reaction when a human soldier showed up. The wind was sharp that morning. It blew dust through the shattered metal trees and scattered as over crumbled remains of a city that once reached for the stars. Now it was quiet except for one sound, a child crying, soft at first then rising in broken rhythm, like a call that had never been answered. She was small, thin, her skin a pale violet, her black eyes wide with fear, and her tiny hands gripping a worn cloth as she sat near the husk of a transport station. The child's name was Ray. She cried not because she was hurt, but because her mother had not come back. She had told her to stay hidden behind the console panel. She had said, "Wait, here, be still, I will return." But the hours had stretched and the sky had turned orange, then dark, then orange again. And still no one came. Ray whimpered, curling into herself. She tried to be brave. Her mother had always said she was strong like the moon, strong like the rivers. But she felt small now. She felt alone. And then the footsteps came. Not soft, not alien. Heavy, loud, clear. Not from her kind. She held her breath and pressed deeper into the shadows, her heart pounding like the broken drums of the old world. Then he appeared. A human. Armor scratched, face covered in dust, a large rifle slung over his back, but his hands were empty, raised open. He looked around slowly, cautiously. His name was Jacob. He had lost his unit 2 days before during a skirmish that ended in chaos and fire. He had wandered through the ruins, seeking shelter, hoping to find any trace of life. He had not expected to find a child. He heard the sound and paused. Not a machine. Not a trap, a cry, small, frightened. He followed it carefully, and then he saw her. The alien child stared up at him from her corner, her violet face streaked with tears and her arms trembling. She made no sound now, just watched. Jacob lowered himself slowly to a knee and did not move closer. He had fought her kind before, but this was different. This was not war. This was something else. "Hey," he said gently, not knowing if she understood. "Are you hurt?" She stared. He tried again, slower. "Do you need help?" She blinked, and after a moment she shook her head, then whispered, "Mother." Jacob nodded slowly. "She is not here." The girl looked down, her lip quivering. He saw the fear in her eyes, but also something else. Hope that someone had come. That maybe someone would not hurt her. Jacob removed his helmet, set it on the ground, and reached into his pouch. He pulled out a ration bar, unwrapped it, and set it in front of him, then leaned back. The child watched unmoving. After a long moment, she crawled forward, snatched the food, and darted back. He did not follow. She bit into it, and her eyes widened. He smiled just a little. Human food, strange, maybe, but not poison. The girl ate slowly, glancing at him now and then. When she finished, she looked at him again. He said softly, "My name is Jacob." She said, "Ray." Her voice was small but clear. "Where is your mother, Ray?" She looked toward the burned edge of the city. "She went that way. She said she would come back." Jacob looked toward the smoke in the distance. It had been bombed hard. He doubted anyone could have survived, but he did not say that. He stood carefully and offered his hand. "Come with me." Ray hesitated, then reached up and placed her small hand in his. It was cold. He lifted her gently and placed her on his back. "Let's find shelter." They moved through the ruins, Jacob, keeping his pace slow, steady. Ray rested against him, not speaking, but not crying either. The sun dipped and rose again. Time passed in silence and survival. Jacob found an old outpost still intact enough to keep them safe. He gathered supplies, started a small fire, cooked simple food, and shared it with her. She watched him with wide eyes, not understanding everything, but seeing more than he knew. She asked, "Why are you helping me?" He looked at her and answered, "Because you are alone. and you should not be. Days became a rhythm. They searched by day, rested by night. Jacob tried to find others any sign of her people or his, but the world was empty. Just the two of them, one human, one alien child, and yet a bond formed, unspoken, but strong. Ray began to smile again. She would talk more, ask questions about Earth, about his name, about the stars. Jacob answered patiently, always. Then one day, as they explored the broken shell of a temple, she froze. She ran forward to a pile of rubble and began digging. Jacob rushed to her side and helped move the heavy stone. And there beneath it, broken, weak, barely breathing, her mother, laying among the ruins, her leg, crushed, her face bruised, but her eyes fluttering open. Ray fell to her side, sobbing. Mother, the alien woman gasped weakly. Ray. She looked past her child and saw Jacob. Her eyes narrowed. Her hands tried to lift in defense. But she was too weak. Jacob raised his arms. I am not here to harm you. Your daughter has been with me. I have kept her safe. The alien woman said nothing, but held her child close. Jacob worked, quickly fashioning a brace and lifting her gently onto a makeshift stretcher. They returned to the outpost, and over the next weeks Jacob nursed her back. Her name was Sarah. She did not speak to him at first, only watched with wary eyes. But she saw Ray laugh. She saw her daughter sleep peacefully in the arms of the human, and slowly her guard lowered. One night, while Ray slept curled between them, Sarah whispered, Why did you not leave her? Jacob looked at her and said, Because she needed someone, and so did I. Sarah stared into the fire. No one in our colony would have done what you did, not for one of your kind, not even for a child. Jacob nodded. Same for mine. But war does not decide who we are. We do. From that moment, something shifted. Sarah began to speak more. She asked him questions about Earth, about humans, about peace. He listened as she spoke of her people, their fall, their pride, and their pain. One morning as the sun rose over the hills, Ray ran through the grass, laughing, chasing shadows. Sarah stood beside Jacob, watching her. She said, She has not laughed like this since before the bombs fell. Jacob smiled. She is strong. Like her mother. Sarah turned to him, her eyes soft. Thank you. No one else would have done this. Jacob looked at her. I did not plan to, but now I cannot imagine leaving either of you. Sarah touched his arm gently. You are not like the others. You are not what we were told. Jacob looked at her hand, then into her eyes. And neither are you. In time others came. A new colony formed. Peace began to grow in the ashes of war. But Jacob, Sarah, and Ray stayed together. A strange family, bound not by blood but by choice, by kindness, by hope, and by a moment when a child cried, and a human answered. Let me know if you like a description or tags for this one too.